What's going on, football fans? It's another edition of Hurry Up, and I'm your host, Adam. Let's get into it. Man, oh man, was the Monday night game epic. Boy, it went back and forth. You thought the Raiders were going to lose and collapse, and all of a sudden the Ravens are coming in there, and they're moving the football down the field, and you're like, man, can this game go any get any better? And then all of a sudden, boom, overtime, 24-24, absolutely epic performance by the Raiders. One of the games for the ages. You're going to remember that game. If you watch that game, you're going to remember that game for a long time. And it caps off a beautiful weekend for the NFL. The NFL had first started out with the Tampa Bay Cowboy game, was an absolute thriller. And then it ends on Monday Night Football with a Raiders game that was an absolute thriller. With David Carr. I mean, that game, they had 89. I forgot. I think his name was Rodgers. Almost single-handedly wins the game. Then they get the ball at the 1 yard line. The Ravens stop him, get an interception. Like, oh my God, complete another collapse. Then Lamar Jackson, who, like I've been saying for a while, is not a great pocket passer. And for all you young bucks out there who love Lamar Jackson, go watch Michael Vick, because he's the exact same thing. But Michael Vick was a better passer. Michael Vick could win you the game in the pocket. If he needed to play a pocket game, he could. The problem with Lamar Jackson right now is he's not a pocket quarterback. And somebody said something to me, and we'll get into this with the Giants in a few minutes, but in order for you to win the game, you've got to win inside the pocket and be able to ad-lib a little bit. You can't just live on die on the run. That will not only get you injured. Every running quarterback that's ever played the game hasn't lasted that long because of the injuries that they sustain. And Lamar Jackson needs to rise above it. Can't be fumbling the football, in critical times. There's another quarterback we'll mention real quick. We're talking about the Giants, who has to do the same thing. But other than that, the Raiders, wow, what a game. Let's see what this does for the Raiders. I mean, they weren't looking like a great team, but Gruden put it together. The defense played admirably. David Carr played above the X's and O's. That call for the touchdown was an absolute beauty. And if David Carr is a free agent, well, guess what, Giant fans? If Daniel Jones stinks, give me Derek Carr and just plug him and go. Because fire Jason Garrett, bring in Derek Carr, and away you go. And away you go, if that's what you want to do. Now, let's get into that, Giants. Giants and Washington play a football game on Thursday. This is a big game for both teams. Now, for the Washington Redskins, it's a chance to redeem themselves and show that they were the number one team for a reason. Now, we forget that they only won one game more than the Giants and the Cowboys. So we're talking about evenly matched teams here that are kind of in the mix, right? The Giants are coming in after a abysmal performance. See, the Redskins, if you're a Redskin fan, if you're a Washington fan, 85 years with one name, they want to change it after all this nonsense. But the point is, that team has a better aura about them going in after their loss. They lost to LA Chargers. Chargers up and coming. Justin Herbert's going to be here a long time. Get to know that name because, that boy good. That boy real good. And so they only lost by a touchdown, and they were in the game. The defense kind of held them in the game. But the Chargers did not score 4 times in the red zone. Now, I didn't get to fully watch that game. I don't know the X's and O's and why as they didn't score, but you gotta find a way to put those in there. But every game is close in the NFL. So my point is, if you're the Redskins, if you're the Redskins and you look to build off of something, I think you have a little bit more to build off than the Giants. Now let's go to New York. New York Football Giants. Y'all need to wake up. Y'all sitting here all day telling us how good you are. We don't need to play in the preseason. We did the joint practices. We got enough of what we needed to see. Got an inflated ego against playing the Browns backups. And playing New England, you got ran around, and you come out with that performance. Now, after rewatching the game, there's a few things I take away. One, missed freaking tackles. That's what Azeez Ojulari has Teddy Bridgewater dead to rights, and what does he do? He attacks him from the top, and Teddy Bridgewater can see him coming and puts his hand up and pushes him down. And Aziz, who maybe in college that worked out, this is the NFL. This is a grown man. You can't be doing that. Tay Crowder missed tackles. Blake Martinez, one of the worst games he's played. Now, his stats-wise, he looked good, but come on. It looked like that defense's feet were in lead, like in mud. They weren't moving. They weren't grooving. They blitzed 50%. When you blitz 50% of the time and you only get 2 sacks, and one of them was a coverage sack because he had nowhere else to go. It's unacceptable. You need to disrupt it. Good defenses get there. They get their hands up. Like the Giant defense, the funniest part about the Giant defense, when we watched this game, they were in it in the first half. Even though they were getting moved on the football, the defense did enough to kind of keep their offense in the game. And then once the third quarter happened, that was it, right? Then you see the thing. Here's another thing too. If you rewatch that game in the third quarter, Giants are down now 17-7. Okay, you're down 17-7. They just got you the ball. You get a return. You're moving the football. You got the ball inside the 22-yard line, and your quarterback fumbles. Well, let's go back to opening drive. Opening drive, third play of the game, you run a reverse. Now, somebody said on a podcast that, well, Kyle Rudolph missed the block and ineffectively nullified the play. You don't call that play regardless. It's telegraphed. That's the thing. It's telegraphed. I don't care who misses the block. Then the point is, you first off, you don't even have Saquon Barkley in there. You have Devontae Booker. Okay, and then you put in Kadarius Toney, who everybody in the stadium knows is probably getting the football. Okay? So if me sitting there on the TV can watch the game and predict what's happening, what do you think? What do you think the defense is doing? Von Miller, probably going to the Hall of Fame, Super Bowl MVP. One of a few defensive players to ever do that in the history of the game. Is sitting there, fresh, off of last year, and he has Kyle Rudolph, who has a bum foot that's trying to get back into game shape, and he runs by Kyle Rudolph and tackles Kadarius Toney. I mean, you can't do that. You can't give that is an error on the coordinator. You don't run that play. First off, you haven't even set the play up. Normally what you do is, in these type of situations, when you're going to run a reverse, you set the play up. You run it a couple times, and you give it to the running back, right? Because if you watch the running back, the whole defense is fooled. The running back had nothing but green grass in front of him. He still throw it to Toney. The point is, the execution of that play needs to be different. Don't just use Toney on the end around already. Bring him in, run that play. Boom. All of a sudden, now you got 4 or 5 yards. All right, now we're in business. The Giants need to score. The problem with this offense right now with Jason Garrett is it's a safe offense. It's safe. That's all it does. It's just dink and dunk. But anyways, getting back to what the third quarter was. So now you gave up points in that first drive after that, fumble, and then after that. Reverse, -6, and then, negative play, drop pass, right? You go to the third quarter, defense just gives up an 8.5 minute drive. 8.5 minutes. They went for it twice. You watch that defense is not covering nobody. Noah Fant is running by Jabril Peppers. Jabril Peppers running on an inside technique. Fant didn't even do anything. Fant ran his route, did a head fake, and it looked like Jabril Peppers was mud. It just was. And then they get down, they scored a touchdown, they get the ball back. Giants offense is now building some momentum. Oh my God. You're here, you're thinking, man, the Giants might score here. You're getting ready, you're thinking at least coming away with a field goal and down 1 possession. That's what you like to see. Next thing you know, Daniel Jones does the smart thing, runs with the ball. You're like, great job, right? All he has to do is slide, bang, hit by 2 guys, ball comes out. Bang, hit by 2 guys, ball comes out. Poof, heartbroken, shattered. Defense then gives up, the Denver gets the ball again, drives downfield again to kind of put the finishing touches on the Giants in that game. And then the Giants had no chance after that, And then they had garbage time. It's like, well, why'd you wait for garbage? You got to ask yourself 2 questions. One, was the Denver defense really that bad for Golladay when you're throwing it? Right, throwing it over the yard. And 2, why didn't you try that in the beginning of the game? See, another crucial moment in that game, this will be my last point, is with the play call. You're inside your own 5-yard line. Most teams will take a shot downfield to see if they can draw a penalty, see if they can do something, loosen up the defense. But what do the Giants do? 1-yard run, which everybody telegraphed, because again, you don't have Saquon Barkley in the game. I have no idea why you don't. I understand he got 10 touches, but in order for me to believe that you're going to run the football, I need the threat who's going to take it to the house every day on there. Now, Saquon Barkley's a little rusty. I get it. But those plays need to have, you can't be conservative anymore. You take the reins off. You're going to live and die with this quarterback. If he's going to be the reason you guys fail, well, you need to find that out. You can't be having safe throws. You got to let him rip it. And if he rips it and he fumbles and he screws up, well, great. That's not the guy. You got 17 more. He's got 16 more games to audition for the rest of the NFL. But you can't. It's like, how can I explain it? It's like, when you're doing something and you're doing it very cautiously and you're trying not to make a mistake and you end up making a mistake because you're in your head. That's how Daniel Jones is playing. Anyways, folks, big game tomorrow. Let's hope the Giants can get back on track. This is your boy Adam. I'm out.